Hello class and welcome to our lesson. My name is Teacher Evelyn. Today we want to learn about methods of cooking, and before we begin, let's think, why is it that we cook our food? Cooking is the process of preparing food using heat. It helps us to make food safe to eat by killing harmful microorganisms. It makes food softer and easier to digest. It improves the flavor, aroma, and color, and combines different ingredients to make the meal more delicious. Part 1. Classification of cooking methods. All cooking methods can be grouped into two main categories: moist heat methods, where we use water or steam, and dry heat methods, where we use hot air, fat, or direct heat to cook without adding so much water. Now let's explore each group in detail with examples, advantages, disadvantages, and uses. Part 2. Moist heat methods. These methods use water or steam to transfer heat to the food. The first one is boiling, where we cook food in plenty of water at 100 degrees Celsius. Examples of foods that can be boiled include eggs, potatoes, maize, rice, beans, and pasta. The advantages of boiling include it's a simple and a quick way, it makes food soft and easy to digest, and can cook so many types of food. Disadvantages include that some nutrients, especially vitamins, may be lost in water, and food can become tasteless if too much water is used. Here's a tip. To save nutrients, use the leftover water, the stock, in soups or stews. You can also use it to cook other food. So which foods do you usually boil at home? Think about it. Most weekends when I'm free, I normally boil my githeri. Let's move to simmering. Simmering is cooking food slowly in hot water below boiling point, unlike boiling. Examples of food that we simmer include soups, sauces, stews, pulses, and porridge. Advantages of simmering include food becomes tender and flavorful, preserves more nutrients than boiling. The main disadvantage is the fact that it does take more time than boiling. Simmering is a great method to cook tough meats because it makes them soft without breaking them apart. Let's move to steaming. Steaming is cooking food using steam from boiling water without putting the food directly in the water. Examples of food that we steam include vegetables, fish, and sweet potatoes. Advantages of steaming include the fact that it's a healthy method because no fat or oil is used. It does retain color, flavor, and nutrients, and it's good for people who want to eat light or healthy foods. Disadvantages include it needs special equipment like steamers, and the food may lack rich flavor unless some spices are added to it. Why do you think steaming is considered a healthy way of cooking? Take a second and think about it. Well, it doesn't use oil and it keeps nutrients in the food. 4 is poaching. Poaching is cooking delicate foods gently in hot water at low temperature, below boiling point that is. Examples of food that we poach include eggs, fish, and fruits like pears. Advantages of poaching include it retains natural flavor and nutrients, and it prevents breakage of delicate foods. Disadvantages are it takes skill to control the temperature, and the food can taste really bland if not seasoned. Now let's move on to number 5, stewing. It's cooking food slowly in small amount of water with other ingredients. I know a lot of you know foods that have been stewed. Well, Examples of food that we stew include vegetable stews, beef stews, and chicken stews. Advantages of the stewing method is that it's very nutritious as the juices are not thrown away, and it does make food soft, tasty, and very aromatic. Well, the main disadvantage sometimes is the fact that it requires a long period of cooking. Can you name at least 3 ingredients we can use when we're stewing our vegetables? If I were you, I would say I use onions, tomatoes, oil, salt, spices, carrots, and so much more. Let's move on to the dry heat methods. These methods use dry heat, fat, or direct fire to cook our foods. The first method is baking, where we cook food using dry heat in an oven. Foods that we bake include bread, cakes, biscuits, pies, muffins, cookies. Advantage of baking include the fact that it produces tasty golden brown food, it's good for large quantity production of food, and no need for oil or fat at times. Disadvantage is that it needs an oven or electricity, and it may take time, and most of the time it does require a whole lot of skills. Here's a tip when baking. Always preheat your oven before baking, because if you forget, the food may cook unevenly and not even rise. The second method is roasting, where we cook food by dry heat in an oven or over an open fire. Example of foods that we roast include maize, groundnuts, meat, and chicken. Very sweet. The advantages of roasting include the fact that it does add a nice flavor and aroma to your food, and no water is needed. Disadvantages include the fact that roasting can make food dry if overcooked, and the food will need frequent turning, so you always have to be available. So tell us, what foods do people roast in your community? I can think of a lot. 3. Grilling. Grilling is cooking food over direct heat and over glowing charcoal. Examples of food that we grill include fish, meat, sausages, and sometimes vegetables. The advantages of grilling include the fact that it's very quick and produces tasty food, and mostly it uses little or no fat at all. Disadvantages are it can easily burn your food, and it also needs your constant attention, otherwise you'll eat coal. Here's a little safety tip for those who love grilling. You should always use tongs or a fork when you're turning your food on the grill to avoid burns. Let's move to the fourth method, which is frying. Frying is cooking food in hot fat or oil, and we have 2 methods of frying. The first one is shallow frying, where we use small amounts of oil, for example, to cook foods like eggs and chapatis. The second method is deep frying, where food is fully dipped in oil and it's fully covered. Examples include mandazi, chips, samosas. Advantages of deep or shallow frying food include the fact that it's quick and makes food golden brown and crispy, looking very nice, and it also enhances food flavor. Who doesn't like fried food? And that comes with the disadvantages of the fact that when too much oil is used, the food becomes unhealthy, and the oil is dangerous as it can splatter and cause burns when not handled carefully. So always make sure that an adult is there when you're cooking your food. Health tip: use clean oil and avoid reusing and reusing your cooking oil many times. Part 4 is safety and hygiene when you're cooking. So every time that you're cooking, you should always remember these safety rules. Always wash your hands and the ingredients before cooking. Tie your hair and wear a clean apron. Use clean utensils and be careful when handling knives. Avoid leaving cooking food unattended and turn off the stove or the fire when you are done cooking. Safety first. Now let's make a recap of what we have learned today. We said that cooking is the process of preparing food using heat, and there are two main methods, which are moist heat methods of cooking and dry heat methods of cooking. The moist heat methods include boiling, simmering, steaming, poaching, and stewing. Dry heat methods include baking, roasting, grilling, deep and shallow frying. Always observe safety and hygiene when cooking. Here's a little home fun to make sure that you understood everything. First, list down 5 foods you can prepare using each of the methods that we named today, foods that we didn't list, and explain the 3 advantages of steaming over frying. And third, practice cooking one dish at home. If you're young, make sure you have someone who is watching over you while you do it, and note the method that you use, the ingredients that you used, and you can also tell us the results, texture, color, or flavor that you found. You can comment down below and I'll be happy to read your answers. So get busy cooking. And that brings us to the end of our lesson. Share this video to your friends and classmates so that they can learn too. Until next time, bye!